don't spend too much time interrogating the whys. Be more flexible around, well, what do we need to do differently and change? You can do the post-mortem to some degree later, but be flexible, be agile, and be adaptable. My name's Simon Wright. I'm Chief Operating Officer for PEXA Group in the UK. PEXA is Property Exchange Australia. So my role very much within PEXA is really supporting the establishment of the business and the proposition in the UK market. We entered the UK just over 4 years ago now. So obviously bringing our proposition that's been very successful in Australia and helped transform the way properties are bought and sold in Australia and bringing that into the UK. So exciting opportunity for me.
And in your role, your career, have you always worked in tech or the financial services, or has it been a blend of both?
My career before joining PEXA has been almost 3 decades, so showing my age now, Stuart, but 3 decades in financial services, predominantly with 𝐝𝐫𝐢𝐯, Yorkshire Bank and Virgin Money. So I undertook a number of roles within there, whether that's around change, transformation or frontline distribution. Through my career, technology became a more fundamental part of obviously the delivery mechanisms and the way that we supported our customers.
And was there a moment where you realised you were doing more in tech than sort of old school financial services?
That's a really interesting question. For me, the real change and the cutover was, interestingly enough, COVID. So I was working in the business and private bank at the time, and you'll know business and private banking very much relationship-based, people-based. COVID meant we had to really pivot and change, as most industries did, around how we operate and support our customers. That's where I really saw the power of technology, being able to support and transform the way we do things. And actually, the innovation that happened over that period of time within financial services was amazing, and we were spinning up products in 1 or 2 weeks on the government's ask around supporting business customers.
And you mentioned that PEXA have moved into UK. So why did PEXA choose the UK, and why Leeds? Why choose Leeds as opposed to all the other places within the UK?
Yeah, so if I start with PEXA's journey into the UK, in its 15 years it's been established, it's been right at the heart of what has been a transformation journey of the way property is bought and sold in Australia now. And just to give you the context, in that 15 years, through collaboration with banks, through conveyancers, through the government, land registries and the central bank, it's really transformed that customer journey. So now, in fact, there's only a 1% fall through rate on property transactions. Actually, the average time to buy and sell a property is about 6 weeks compared to 26 weeks in the UK, right? That context will sort of drive why Leeds and the answer to that question, because from a Leeds perspective, what we were looking for when we were putting down roots in the UK is that collaboration, right, and that innovation. And what we needed is a city that could support us in the journey and that transformation agenda. So actually, we can't transform an industry on our own. And actually, if you look at the dynamics around Leeds, you've got the second largest professional and financial services sector in the UK. Key for us, you've got anchor institutions like the FCA, where we're a regulated business. You've got FinTech North, Leeds Digital. Obviously, that whole ecosystem and growth agenda and innovation agenda that we need to be a success. So it just felt like a perfect fit, if I'm being honest, Stuart.
Yeah. And in terms of technology are you using sort of standard technologies or anything sort of experimental, any new stuff that you bring into the market?
AI is coming to the fore significantly for us, transforming customer journeys and driving better customer experiences and better efficiency, and using people to actually do the job we employed them to do, which is use their skills and expertise.
So in terms of, you mentioned about the collaboration, that's one of the key things that brought you to the city. And how would you describe the landscape and the sort of Leeds tech ecosystem at the moment? We get things done, right? There's a real can-do attitude around making a difference. We've got that philosophy and that mentality around we just want to make things happen, and you see that culture all around here. It's allowed us to embed ourselves really, really quickly. Yeah. And have you seen that real positive collaboration within government?
Yeah, definitely. So we've just gone through the journey to be regulated, and you look at the FCA, and they were just recently in Leeds as an example. There's more of an openness to engage in dialogue than there's ever been, rather than just being a regulator, being there as a point of reference and somebody to talk to. And I think that's really, really important for us.
Well, final question. Obviously, you've moved into the city.
Yes.
You're growing. What advice would you give to any other firm, international or UK-based, looking at Leeds?
There's an openness and willingness to really engage and support. Everybody wants to understand, everybody wants to know your story and wants to help. Everybody's looking to drive success, but flexibility and agility is core. If I look at the journey we've been on over the last 4 years, that hasn't been linear. It hasn't been straightforward. But don't spend too much time interrogating the whys. Be more flexible around, well, what do we need to do differently and change? You can do the post-mortem to some degree later, but be flexible, be agile, and be adaptable.